What's up, the After Party West? This is your girl, Brittany Love. I am the engineer for the After Party West, and what we're about to do is start something called the After Party West segments, which is called Speak Easy. And to start us off, I have my special guest, Lex, here.
Hey,
what's
going
up,
on,
Lex?
everybody? Hey.
So to start it off, basically, like, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay. So, like Britt said, my name is Lex. I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm the oldest. It's a hard job. I know you older siblings out there know that. I'm a first-gen graduate of college. I went to CSU Dominguez Hills. Go Toros.
Hey,
Any
go
Toros out there,
Toros.
okay? Sociology, my degree. Then for some reason, I got pretty wild, decided to go all the way to Ohio. And moved to Bowling Green, Ohio. I went to Bowling Green State University and got my master's. So that's where my story kind of starts to make sense. I'm in the education field, and I'm really passionate about educational equity in the K through 12 system, as well as access to higher education. And right now, I'm a college academic coach. I relocated to Richmond, California, so now I'm back close to my family in Sacramento, and I love it. I have a caseload of 85 students. Shout out to my students. I love all of you. They go to different CSUs and UCs, and they're all first-gen students, and I get to work with them on a weekly basis about their life decisions, financial decisions, academic decisions for Making Waves Foundation. I'm located in Richmond, California, so it's a pretty fun job.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, like, tell us what has been, like, a highlight in your journey so far.
Highlight in my journey.
Yes.
All right, so I don't know who out there travels, but if you're a traveler, it was my first time going out of the country. At 24 years old, I got to go to South Africa, which was on the continent of Africa. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I ever had. I spent 2.5 weeks on a study abroad trip.
Oh,
and it was just the learning how to save enough money to go on the trip, to learning how the different cultures. And in South Africa, their racial breakdown and difference with apartheid is way different than the U.S. They're still in the heat of it, right? So a lot of South African students, when we were there, would compare the 60s to what they're going through now in the 2000s in their country. And we were comparing, like, educational differences, the way who and what are allowed to go to college, what they're allowed to study. And it was very interesting because I was comparing education in the U.S. to education in South Africa, and working side by side with PhD and other master's students. And it was an amazing experience because you got to reflect and see how little or how much you knew about what you were studying, and why you cared about educational equity. A lot of really fierce debates amongst the U.S. students on the trip and the South African students. Sometimes it got really heated in there. Had to have like someone playing referee.
Oh my
but it was pretty awesome. And then I also got to experience the country. I got to travel. I got to climb a mountain. I climbed Lion's Head. It was so fun. But yeah, overall, it was a really good experience. I also conquered my fear of long plane flights.
Oh,
so,
yeah. And how long was that flight?
17 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it definitely round circle of why I care about education. Talking to other students abroad, it was just talking about racial differences, talking about economic status, how it affects people, just the access to college. What do you do after college? Like, how do you get a job? And just what mentorship meant. And it was cool to be with other students who had mentors. Like, I didn't have a mentor, like, going into college, like, let alone. Like, once I was there, like, Christina Lundy, she knows if she's listening. She basically saved my life in college. I was ready to quit school and move back to Sacramento. And she basically stopped me from doing all of that. She helped me find a major and just really pushed me to, man, I'm getting emotional. Like, she really pushed me to, like, actually want to be something more than just, like, what my parents did. And I'm forever grateful for her. Like, she allowed me to see, like, who I'm supposed to be. And I really know God put her in my life.
Amen. It could be that one person that just push you all the way through.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you good?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So what has been, like, your struggle during your journey?
I feel like everybody has a story with a lot of struggles, right?
Yes.
I would say, though, for me, probably being a woman and being biracial. So I don't know if you can tell on the screen, maybe you can or can't, but I come from a two-race family. And moving from Sacramento to then LA, where LA already has their own like culture, it was very hard for me to move here, and self-acceptance for who I thought I was as a woman and dating was very hard. I had some bad experiences, and then from those bad experiences I became very empowered to want to write about it and like help other young women. That's why I got into education. But probably the hardest part was just feeling like I didn't look like what I was supposed to look like my size, like feeling like I couldn't fit into the type of clothing women were wearing, and just having like meeting other plus size women and showing me like how to dress and like how to do my hair, wear makeup, you know, probably was really helpful. And I feel like that struggle, like still, body image is still a thing I deal with now in my life, and I think it sometimes makes me self-conscious even being on camera right now. So like there's a lot of things, and I feel like our society doesn't help with that. So I would say that stopped me from doing a lot, like just like wanting to wear the things I want to wear, even going out to like conferences or like just dressing, just making me feel like self-conscious being on stage talking. So I'm actually working on a poetry series right now talking about that, because I feel like it's not just for plus size women, it's for like every type of woman. Like we have all these like standards we have to face in society, especially with color. Like color is a big thing, right? Like if you're dark skin versus light skin, and how that affects women to women relationships. So I would say like that was been something too, is like always being like feeling like you're always in the middle, right? Because like the struggle of being dark skinned is very big, and it's not the same thing at all what I'm talking about, but it's like the constant always feeling like you're hearing people say things or you watch things happen to people you care about and have to always deal with that is it's really frustrating. It's frustrating to be in the room with white people and they see you as passing, and then you speak up and then they're like, oh I shouldn't have said stuff like that. It's just a constant feeling of like, you know, as a woman, like you're a woman first, and then like they see you in a certain way when you speak up. And so I think that's like, for me, I don't know. I mean, I really focus on women empowerment and really like decompartmentalizing racial issues within women, because I feel like if more women of color and white women were together and were able to talk about things, we actually might be getting somewhere with racial issues. Because no offense to the men out there, I love all of you, but sometimes men just be like going at it, and I feel like if women were there, like we would be able to really like decompress the situation and work towards things. I mean, you see women putting their bodies on the line every day for men. And so I don't know, my greatest struggle, I think I've turned into something of empowerment. And I don't know if anybody's listening to this, whatever color your skin you are, whatever you are as a woman, like I just want you to know you're beautiful, you are loved, and you can be anything you want to be, even with the societal pressures on you. Like I just want to say, like, don't give up on your dream, ever. No matter who tells you you can't do it.
Thank you for that. Oh, I'm touched myself. Lord, oh, Jesus. Thank you. Like, that hit me deep. Okay, so what advice would you give yourself 5 years ago?
5 years ago? Wow.
Yes.
My advice 5 years ago. Okay. So I'm going to try my best to look into the video so people can listen to this. I would say, don't do things that people are trying to influence you to do. I feel like 5 years ago I was trying to fit in. I was trying to be a part of cliques or like pop culture that really wasn't who I was, and it put me in situations that when I look back now as an adult is not where I wanted to be. Luckily, thank God, somehow I got out of some of the things I was a part of. But I know for a fact that I was raised a certain way, and I try to like this concept of being cool, right? Like young people want to be cool instead of like doing things that will help them for their future and for their life. So that's probably what I would tell myself 5 years ago, is like, don't go with your gut, keep doing what you were taught from your parents, from your grandparents, you know, and don't allow like the influences around you to stop you from doing what you're doing. Because I was this close to not doing things. Trust me, I dealt with drinking too much, I dealt with partying too much, and there was a lot of times that I would go into tests, I would go into spaces, and I was not prepared. And luckily I made it out, but there's a lot of people that don't have the luck I had. And if you could avoid that, I would avoid that. Like, just do not put yourself in a situation where you're going to compromise something you care about and you're passionate about.
Thank you. Before you leave, tell everyone where they can find you at, where they can follow you at. You know, if you got Facebook, Instagram, whatever you would like to give out there.
I have an Instagram. I'm actually working on my poetry book right now. It's going to be focusing on, like I said, women empowerment, the concept of education, and what we can do. Excuse me. And my Instagram is Spirit of Aya, so it's SPIRIT IRITAYA_15. My lucky number is 15. That's why it's 15. You can find me there on Instagram. On my Facebook, it's my full name. It's Alexis Schoonard-Saborio. Like, I know it's really long. Maybe Britt can put it in the subtitles.
Yeah.
But if you just type in Alexis and then Schoonard, my first name, it should pop up SCHOONARD, and then there's a hyphen. But other than that, that's how you find me. I like to email. If you send me a message, we can email too. It's alexis.s.saborio@gmail.com. Pretty old school. I'll even take a letter if you want to.
Okay, all right. Thank you for having us.
All right, bye.
Until the next segment.
Peace.